Look, I'm from the East Coast, and as soon as Tupac came out, I was like, this dude just.
Oh yeah, you got to move over here.
He ripped New York
for sure.
He punched us in the gut, and we never came back.
I know. It was just good music.
All right, guys, here we are at the Let's Chop It Up Food Podcast. And as we are getting ready to do an amazing event in Newport Beach, the Newport Beach Country Club, we have today here the woman behind KM Productions, Kristin Martin, right here. And we definitely want to shout out when the event is. The event is going to be the Festival of Chefs event at the Newport Beach Country Club this Sunday, July 16th from 5 to 10 p.m. And there's going to be an amazing lineup there, so you definitely got to check out the event and check out the Let's Chop It Up Food Podcast, which is going to be featured there. I got to pass it over to my boy, Chef Chris. Let's go.
Wow. Wow. Hey, it's such an honor. Kristin Martin, OMG, we're here.
I know.
We're here. Let's chop it up, right? All right. So I'm going to read this quote. I mean, this one really touches home because you do so many things that benefits charities, benefits promotions for restaurants, and it just helps everybody out. And I thank you, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is what I have. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, right?
Yes.
So tell me about it.
It's exactly how I got started. I started doing charity events, and then I thought it would be really fun to create my own type of event. And I love food and wine, and I loved working with chefs and that whole community. So I created, a few charity-driven, chef-driven events. And what was so wonderful for me is that I got to select the benefiting charities and pair them with the perfect event for them. And so it was amazing to be able to help and support so many nonprofits in Orange County, not just one. I didn't have to stay in one lane. I could pick a children's charity. I could pick a hospital. I could pick a dog rescue. And so I really wear my heart on my sleeve. And so it's just a question of how many hours in the day I have. And so if I could, I would umbrella, 20 nonprofits. But unfortunately, I can't do that many events. But the ones that I do, I really embrace and I'm very proud of. And like you said, the one coming up is Festival of Chefs this Sunday. It benefits KidWorks, which is an amazing nonprofit in Santa Ana, who really, I always tell them that what they do is so incredible for the kids in the local community there. They really give them a hug in a sense that they give them after-school program, they give them a school, they educate them. They have 100% graduating class statistic, and all of their graduating high school seniors go to college, 100%.
Wow.
And what's neat about KidWorks is they never leave the kids behind. Just, when they go to college, the charity doesn't just forget about them. They follow up with them. They continue to follow up with them. And they actually help navigate jobs for the kids when they graduate. So it's a wonderful nonprofit to be a part of, and I'm really blessed to be working so hard, to launch a successful event this Sunday. So it's great.
That is amazing. I remember, Kristin, walking into the restaurant Laguna Beach. I think I was looking for one of my cooks or something, and there you are on the left. You're like, "Oh my God, Chef Chris! I want you to come to one of my events."
I know.
And I was like, "Okay." Pascal has such a big impact in my life.
Yes.
Where he told me one thing, guys. He said, "Always give back."
Yes.
And don't forget where you came from. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? This is it. We're going to go all in. Next time I said, okay, we're doing Festival of Chefs. We're gonna do Table for 10. We're gonna do all the above. We're gonna go all in. We're gonna do all of it. Okay, now I want to go into the fun part and then the cool part of the touching part. So the fun part is, okay, now we have the lineup of chefs. Now, how is it working with all of these personalities, all these fine dining chefs, all this cool stuff that you see and read about, and they're right at your fingertips. How is it?
Right. It is so much fun. But first, let me go back. Chris, that was such a cool day. That was an awesome day for me because I hadn't seen you in so long.
Yeah.
And so it was so serendipitous to see you and then tell you about all of the charity events that I was working on, and tell you that I've just got this amazing group of chefs that loves to do the events. I mean, we're at 50, 60 chefs now. Wow. And these are I will say that the group of chefs that we have, they all have such a big heart. They really do. Like, they're the chefs that have that extra it factor, where they're not only brilliant at what they do, and they have amazing restaurants or separate catering companies, but they equally have the biggest heart because they are all about donating, giving back to the community. So for you to jump on that bandwagon with me, I was so stoked to have you. And now let's just say, not to say you don't have a stellar rap sheet. I mean, you are a celebrity chef.
Yes.
And so I feel like, oh my gosh, this is so great for me,
Yes.
And having you there was so wonderful for all the other chefs, because you are such a personality, and you are so good with people, and you always do everything from the heart. And so I had Pascal with me for about 20 years, and he has been so generous and so giving in the community for 20 years, at least, longer than that. That's just what I can say about him. But I know he's been so philanthropic his entire life. And so bringing you two together was so great and so fun. And the energy that you bring to these events is just unmatched. And not only do the chefs feel it, but the guests feel it, the other sponsors feel it. And I will say that I'm so proud of the events because we have this really kind of electric, warm energy that takes place, which you can feel. It's kind of like all the love just kind of comes together. It's neat. And the fact that everybody's coming together to benefit these wonderful charities, it's just such a win-win. Like, it gets me emotional thinking about it because everybody's going at it from the right place, Right,
I agree. The one that gets me always, and it brings tears to my eyes because I have a big heart. Yeah. The one when we do Make-A-Wish.
Yes.
And when we do Make-A-Wish, I mean, there's all these elegant. Let me walk you through this. There's 10 guests at each table, right?
Yeah, you're talking table for 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that benefits Make-A-Wish, right?
Yeah. Well, it did. It did 2 years ago.
That was a fun one.
Yes.
Yes.
What's neat about Table for 10 is that Table for 10 is different than my other tasting events. Yes. Table for 10 is an elegant, high-end black tie event where each chef hosts one table of 10. It's a big ask for the chefs. They donate 5 to 6 course meal paired with wines. They decorate their tables so they're all over the top. And they create, they bring all their wait staff and they give the guests white glove service. And they donate everything, 100%. It's a huge labor of love for the chefs. And what we've done is we've tried to select different charities throughout the years to benefit because that event is so highly sought after. We sell out every year, months before the event. And so we feel like we can spread the love with multiple charities at the event. And so we benefited Mission Hospital, a ton, Vocational Visions, Make-A-Wish. And last year, we decided to connect with a nonprofit that gives back to the culinary environment that the event, supports. And so we decided to partner with Pascal. And now it benefits the Pascal Culinary Arts Scholarship Program, which is amazing. And we've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to it. And what's wonderful is that, we're able to support these college kids that are in the culinary school with providing them with funds to help with their tuition and their books. And it's just wonderful. It's such a wonderful thing to be able to help kids with education. And that's so needed right now today to help these kids get educated so that they can then have a vocation where they can get a job. And what's been really neat and why there's always a ripple effect with all these events is that a lot of the students that have graduated from the Saddleback Culinary Arts program are now working for the chefs that participate at the event.
Ain't that
Wow.
something?
Yeah,
Ain't that
so
something?
what we started doing at all the events is we started taking students from multiple culinary arts schools, and we started asking them if they would want to help and shadow and work with one of our chefs that's participating. So we have the best chefs in Orange County. So this is an amazing platform for these students
Right.
to be able to work with, these top chefs. I mean, celebrity chefs like yourself, and chefs from all the top resorts and just big names and big chefs. And the chefs in turn love it. And what we've seen the chefs then turn around and hire the students to work for them. And we have placed so many students at Pelican Hill, Montage. I mean, the list is long. And so that's the extra ripple effect from doing these culinary events that we are able to do, along within the chef community, which is so awesome. It's really cool. I mean, it's a lot. I know.
No,
I think it's amazing.
it's amazing to see all you're doing for the chef community. It's amazing to see all you're doing for the Orange County community, all the organizations that are involved in Orange County.
Yeah.
I really kind of want to know, where did your heart for charity start? Because just talking to you right now, you could do anything.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
I
That's so
sincerely,
kind. Thank
you can do anything.
Thank you. Well,
and you chose to put your heart into charity.
I did.
Talk about that, please.
Well, I will say that I was a school teacher.
Okay.
Coming out of college. And I loved teaching, and it was so rewarding. So I always wanted to do something within service, right? To either help students or the community. And so I ended up kind of landing into event coordination, event production about 20 years ago by just helping some friends do some culinary events, really.
Okay.
And then I just started to think, oh my gosh, this is awesome. We do these culinary events, and we're helping so many various charities that my heart just really stayed there. And, I'm also a mom. I have 3 kids. So I also wanted to continue doing charity work and giving back as also to a role model for my children. And so, I've continued to do that, and it's just been a lifelong passion. And what's so wonderful for me is that I become an advocate for not only the chef community, because I support them all, but I've helped chefs find jobs. And because I just have a lot of connections now, over the years. Right. I can't really help it, but I just know a lot of people, right? And so, and then in turn, I've been able to, I become an advocate for the nonprofits that I pick to support, to benefit for the chef-driven events. So this year, the nonprofits I'm supporting, which I'm so proud of, are KidWorks, which I talked about, Saddleback College, their community college program that's just huge, and they're servicing so many college kids. And then also Unconditional Rescue, which is this amazing dog rescue in Laguna Beach that was founded by the co-founders are Amy and Julian Mack. Julian Mack is CEO of Just Food for Dogs. Huge, company. And they came up with this fabulous niche in dog rescue where they take senior dogs. So that's really dogs over 6 and older, which is considered a senior dog, which isn't that old when you think about it.
Yeah.
So senior and disabled dogs. I get choked up. And anyway, they're doing amazing work in Laguna Beach. And so I'm just so, like I said, I'm so blessed, and I'm also doing a large event outside of Orange County called Wine Song. It's been in existence for 38 years, and it benefits the hospital, the Mendocino Coast Healthcare Foundation hospital up there. And it's all the nurses, first responders. And that event has 75 chefs and wineries, and it's at the Mendocino Coast Botanical Gardens on September 9th. And so I just, as you can tell, I just get really passionate about, who I'm helping. And it's it's so wonderful. I feel very lucky. I have to tell you, I feel very blessed to do what I do. I feel like I'm so fortunate and I'm lucky, and I wake up every morning just really thanking God that I have such a wonderful career and such a wonderful life. And I get to do what I love, which is event coordination and event production. So I get to do what I love, but it benefits so many people as well. So I feel like I'm just really lucky, very blessed.
That is. I mean, a lot of these chefs, they're either upcoming chefs. I remember when I was up and coming, I was doing these events, and it really helped me out, put me in the public eye.
Yep.
So not only are you helping out a charity, but you're helping out a lot of these chefs. Like, are you looking for more chefs to work with, or how does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell people that I get nonprofits reach out to me all the time, and chefs reach out to me all the time, and wineries and sponsors reach out to me all the time. I never say no. I just make it work, because if someone's reaching out to me, I know that they're coming from a place of giving. They're wanting to either, help the charity, help the event, just do something good, giving back. And so I would never say no, how can, and so I always just make it work. It's kind of like, even if we're maxed out on our, number of chefs we could have, I'll call the venue and I'll beg and I'll say, well, I need one more chef, and I kid you not, every single time I have to beg or borrow or ask, I always get yeses. Like, I'm very fortunate that I rarely get people saying no to me now, which is, it's pretty awesome.
I love it. And then just walking through, like, the scenery, just for those that are watching, like, say Newport Beach, when you step into the country club and you get to see the whole, you walk in, you see all the booths, all the different chefs. It's very elegant. You have music going. It's the whole vibe. I mean, it's very, I want to say, upscale.
It is. We try to do them very classy.
Yeah, you almost feel VIP. Right. And everybody knows each other, and everybody's saying hi. Yes. And then there's wine. There's all of these nice chefs and everybody around. And then is there an auction this year that's going on?
Yeah, so we usually have, like a 50 to 75 item auction. And then we always have a 52 bottle wine tree as an opportunity drawing. And then we have a fund in need component in all the events, which is really key because that's straight donations to the charity. And so the fund in need is really a wonderful thing where guests just, hold up their bid cards and donate straight to the charity. It's just wonderful. And what's so neat about that is that a lot of times the chefs will come stand around in the back with all the guests, and the chefs will raise their hand and donate. And I'm always that literally almost drops me to my knees when that happens, because not only have they donated everything, right? And they've come and they've spent, like Chris said, like their day, right, being a part of it, but then they feel compelled to donate to the charity. So it's kind of magic. It really is.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, it is.
No, I mean, chefs are driven, we're in a hospitality industry, so we're in the industry where we're serving, but you do have to find those special chefs who want to step out and say, hey, they're gonna dedicate their time, their resources to that. So I'm curious. I mean, you talked about how you got into the charity component,
right?
And then you kind of touched on the food aspect of it. Why food? Why restaurants? I mean, and I really want to know what your passion is for the food industry. Have you always been into food and restaurants?
I love
I want this full content.
I'm like, why not?
I love exactly. So I love this. It's so when I started out, I was doing your traditional galas, which were I have a pretty lively, energetic personality. So even if I were going to go to a gala, I would get really bored. No offense to galas, but I just personally, I would sit there and they'd have like a 3-hour speaker, and then you'd get all the same food, right? It would be like a chicken or a vegetable, and I love food. Clearly, I'm clearly not super thin. I mean, I do like to eat. I do like wine and
the vibe.
Yeah, I do like the vibe.
Everything.
And so for me personally, I always want to attend a chef-driven culinary event where I get to taste all the samplings from all these incredible chefs and restaurants. And then I get to sample amazing wines from all over. And then hopefully if I'm still standing, I can, Uber home and it's a great day.
Yes.
And so when I went about creating these events, I always had the mindset of, I need to have an event that I would want to go to. That was my bar. And so it was like, okay, I want to do a 2-hour tasting event. I want to do a really small sit-down charity component, like 45 minutes. And then I want to have a band and I want to dance and rock out. And then I want to go home at 10 o'clock. That was it. And so all of my events kind of have that same stamp. And I will say, I will tell you that I'm really fortunate because I know some of the really great bands in Orange County. So we have Matt Mauser with the Tijuana Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
This Sunday. And
Super popular.
I actually grew up knowing Matt.
Okay.
And so it's very wonderful to have him involved, with me as well at the event. And then also Flashback Heart Attack, that amazing 80s cover band. Those guys are incredible. And so I have kind of my go-to bands. And so I'm confident that my events will also always, rock and people will leave wanting more. For the Wine Song event, I have the Side Deal, which is an amazing group. It's a compilation of musicians from Sugar Ray, Train, Doobie Brothers, and they've all come together.
Yes.
And incredible band called The Side Deal. And once again, I grew up with one of the lead performers, Sam Fraser. He was in Sugar Ray.
Okay.
And so I'm fortunate that I have so many, like I said, connections that I can draw and get my friends involved. But once again, I think it just all plays into the events are really fun, and people love going to them, and I know they're going to leave with a smile on their face and having a good time. So that's, what else is there?
Wow.
I would imagine
It's a lot of energy.
I would imagine. I mean, it sounds like, okay, you have great ideas. You wanted to put great food. You wanted to make it quick,
Right.
enjoyable. Have some music. I would imagine there's a lot of work that's involved in all of this. What was your first event like?
There is. I mean, it's a
what was that?
full-time.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, I was
it's
like,
a
well, how was
full-time
that?
job. I mean, it's an
Yes.
absolute full-time job. I mean, we work on it 12 months out of the year. We never stop. Even when the event is over, you start advertising for next year, and it's just this constant wheel, and we love that. And what's neat is that you keep the advertising and the marketing going for the charities and for the chefs. So it really is this incredible ongoing thing. My first event was for the American Liver Foundation, and it was called Flavors.
Okay.
And Flavors of Orange County, and I got to work with my dear friend Kathy Hamilton, who was the chair, and Jamie Gwen, who's a fabulous chef. And that event kind of launched me because I started working with all the chefs. And then after that, I did an event called SOS in LA. I got to work with Border Grill founder Mary Sue Milliken.
Right.
And then there again, that was my second event, and I was working with all the chefs. So for me, I loved the chef community immediately, and I felt really driven to just continue those relationships and start to build and start to maybe create some of those chef-driven events down here. And I am kind of creative a little bit in that way. And so my wheels are always spinning. I mean, my husband will tell you. He would like to shut me off, but I really don't have an off button.
I love it.
And so, we're already working on creating another chef-driven event called Top Chef. That's going to be April 7th at the Balboa Bay Resort. And we have it locked and loaded. And I'm working in talking to a lot of nonprofits now. I haven't selected the nonprofit, but it's just I'm constantly going.
Can we be on
Yeah.
the payroll? Not to pay us,
There he is.
Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
right?
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you came out.
I like to do a little video bomb because one thing we forgot to mention on you, on the chef, a big part of it. It's not only a reunion of chefs, it's also a reunion of great food purveyors.
Yes.
and we need to
Yes.
give them credit because we help
Definitely.
us and support us, and also we like to support them back.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of small farmers, a lot of small craft, food craft entrepreneur that need showcasing.
Yes.
And with the chef networking, we're able to use their product and show it to our guests and customers. So I think it's important that chefs get together and we promote that local food because people don't know.
Yes.
People don't know that we have a great mushroom farmers.
Yes.
People don't know that we have even
The great oysters.
Organic,
great oysters,
right?
Also,
local
the coffee that.
Baja
that-
shellfish,
the-
moon goat, coffee.
Yes.
Unbelievable
and
coffee.
some great honey and some great chocolate.
OC
maker.
local honey.
Yeah, and the caramel.
Yep.
And all these things. You know.
Santa Ana sweets.
And so
Yeah.
it's a network of food, not just chef and a restaurant. So it's very important.
I'm so glad you brought that up because those are, those are all incredible vendors, that donate
Yeah.
their product just like the chefs do. And they come out and they do these beautiful booths and set up. And once again, they're donating their product 100%. And we have this incredible list of, like Pascal was saying, chocolate, caramel, sugar cookies. I mean, and then we have all sorts of beverage
And wines.
vendors and wineries that are, the list is long. And so hopefully, maybe we'll put up the event websites
Yes.
somehow because and then people can go look on the website so you can see our incredible list of vendors
our
and
local
chefs and
producer.
and event sponsors.
The lineup is pretty amazing. I
It
mean,
is.
The surf and sand. I mean, there's a big list of chefs.
It is.
Right?
We have
That-
60, 65 at this one.
The Montage,
Yeah.
the
Pelican.
Pelicanel,
Yeah. But also, we have incredible chefs that have their own companies that are
Yeah.
coming in, and these chefs, came from, their background is in, from big hotels or resorts, and now they've started on their own. And so, what I definitely strive for is I follow the chef. It's not so much the name of the restaurant for me. It's more that I know this chef will cook unbelievable food because the food has to be spectacular at the event. And so we really seek out the best chefs, regardless of what their title is.
Shout out to Brandon Hall.
Absolutely.
Brandon.
Time well spent.
Yeah.
Yes.
He will be
Yes.
there at the
Yeah.
event this
We-
Sunday, and he's an amazing chef.
This is
And
on
Yeah.
episode 4.
he's
Yeah.
definitely passionate about what he does.
Oh my gosh.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, they all
You're
are.
keeping those chefs
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're incredible. And what's neat is that the guests really embrace all the chefs. We have 400 to 600 guests coming in to these events. And so the chefs are just, their cards are on their table and the guests are just swiping them. Not only just because they want to come visit the chef, but they also will hire them to come in and do parties and events. So you see that synergy happening. So it's great advertising and marketing for the chefs, which
What's
I
the best
want.
thing?
you know?
You go to a restaurant, you bring some guests with you, say, hey, and you tell them, I know the chef, he cooked for me at that
Yes.
event.
That is a great feeling.
Yeah.
That's definitely a great
You're
feeling. 'cause
already connected with
Yeah.
the chef.
And the guests love that.
Being on this side and they remember, hey, I remember you from Table for 10, Festival of Chefs, OC Chef Masters, and it's a great feeling.
Yes.
Because sometimes being behind the scenes as being the chef, you're behind the scenes, you don't get to see all that, and then that could actually switch up your whole day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just seeing somebody that really cares and just remembers you, that right there is, for the chef, that's an experience. And you're actually giving the people that are showing up to these events and giving an experience.
Right.
So, I think your events are one of the best, or if not the best in Orange
Oh,
County.
thanks,
Come on, the
And
best.
it's
That's
the
so
best.
nice. Thank you.
No, and that's why I always say
Well,
I'm
because
there.
it's
There's a
not-
lot of
it's
events.
not
I mean,
Yes, yeah.
I will say Orange County in general I found it's so philanthropic.
But
I mean, it's amazing the
the-
culture and the people that live here.
It goes behind the events.
Yeah.
Because now, look, we have that chef community, we have that purveyors community, and now we have the guests that join us. So it's a giant network.
Yeah.
I totally agree, and especially with putting Orange County on the map, Kristin, a lot of your events helps put or it puts Orange County on the map.
And the
If that-
nonprofits.
Nonprofits, it's the whole thing in itself.
Yeah.
It's almost like creating like this big beast, this
It's
big
like
happy
this big,
beast.
it's like this big event world.
Yes,
it's like
big
this
event world.
sphere that's just.
Yeah.
Make us look good too, like make people think we are generous.
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Well, and that's really important. Like we always try to highlight the chefs, and I will say I've seen that in other events that have chefs where the events aren't really highlighting the chefs as much as I think we do. I mean, we give them a spotlight introduction, in front of everyone, and we really promote the chef community, and I think that's so important because it's the way that we can thank them.
I totally agree. I mean, I'm good at that Instagramming what I'm doing and all that, but really when I go on that stage and I show when I have my cell phone out, I'm not shy at all. I walk up on stage with all the chefs. I turn the camera around to all the chefs and you can see all of the people there cheering on all the chefs.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling. And you know what? That really reminds of the chefs why you're doing this.
Right.
Because let's think about it. I mean, it's hard to even just taking the food truck out.
Right.
I mean, now imagine
It's a lot.
Now imagine just putting together an event or
Yes.
being at this event and making sure your cooks show up on time. The parking sometimes gets a little chaotic. Unloading, the loading up. I mean, it gets chaotic, but it's fun feeling this.
On what platform
is.
can we see your videos? Could you take some great videos?
All that's on Instagram.
You
that was
are
our
actually
first-
your videos are amazing.
The white name.
Oh, that's all under Taste Collective.
Yeah.
Yes, or now Let's Chop It Up. But yeah,
I
definitely.
encourage people to go watch your video because they get the whole feelings of your parties. Because you don't do just catered. You
Right.
create parties.
Oh, it's the experience, and
Right.
that on. I mean, if I could just say something to chefs that are out there, that right now that we're on the chef topic about promotions, if you don't film it, it never happened.
Right.
So that's what the production company that we're doing. If you never took videos, it never happened. You have to capture the moment, and there was a joke that somebody told me. You always laugh and dance like nobody's watching. Well, now somebody has to watch it. You have to take videos
Right.
and promote yourself out there, especially that the platforms are out there. So, somebody watching out there, other chefs are gonna take this, post about it. Take that one picture. Don't be shy about it.
Right.
Just do it, especially at your next event.
Right.
I'm gonna have my camera out. You're gonna have your
I know.
camera out.
I can't
We're
wait
bringing
to see
Brandon.
it. I mean, all the videos are so fabulous, and it's
Yeah.
great to post it, and the chefs love that.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I love how you're talking about the Orange County community. I mean, we are very fortunate to live in Orange County, California.
We are.
We have great restaurants, so you're featuring the great chefs. We have great purveyors of food. Ingardia
Wine.
Brothers, Melissa's Produce, great wine. But you talked about it, and I really want to go back to this. The guests that come there, the guests that come there,
They're
who
amazing.
support these events, who support these chefs afterwards, support the restaurant industry. We definitely want to give
I have
kudos
regular.
to that.
Yes, I can't thank them enough. I have regular, people, regular sponsors that buy tables and tickets and come to all of my events, and I think that they love the food and they love the wine tasting events, but they also love to give back to the charities that I've selected, right?
Right.
And it's such a diverse group of charities that who wouldn't want to give to all of them? I mean, they're all so wonderful, and so it's incredible. Actually, I mean, we sell out every event, and everybody comes in knowing that it's for a wonderful cause, and also they come in because they know it's also supporting the chef community in a sense that they're learning about these chefs, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, where are you located? This is amazing. I want to come in, and the chefs get that all the time from the guests, and so it's just this
I
really
may
incredible
add-
synergy.
That may
Yeah.
add another level of connection in the community.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Because we had a chance now to work with Saddleback College Culinary Department.
Right.
We bring in volunteer students, and they work with the chef. They give them the chance to work with the best chef around. Sometimes they even get job from it.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I know.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's
But
all about.
We are really preparing the next, the future of Orange County culinary, and you developed that platform. Just give the opportunity.
It just kind of
to these
evolved.
young
It just
people.
made sense, to try to help these college students because with these big event platforms, we have the ability to do some special things. And I think that wherever and whenever I can do something that's impactful, I will do it. Example, we had a student not a student. We had a couple years ago that had come to my event, and their son had cancer. He was in a wheelchair, and he was really battling, but he always wanted to be a chef. And so the parents reached out to me and they said, could he just meet a chef? Their ask was so little, and so I took it a little step further, where I had him come day of the event and meet all of the chefs in the kitchen.
Wow.
And I ordered him a chef jacket. All the chefs signed the jacket, and then I had him help prep. Help work with one of the chefs back in the kitchen. I believe it was Andrew Sutton. And it was really special. And it was just, it was one of those moments. It had nothing to do with the chair. It had nothing to do with really, the core of what was taking place at the event. But we were able to have this incredible impact on this one child. And the parents told me, weeks later, that he talked about that. That's all he talked about, and that he was cooking and trying to do things. And it was just a wonderful feeling. And so whenever I can do something like that and use the platform to help others, then I will, and we do.
And I know
That's
Chef
amazing.
Andrew Sutton. He's a very tough chef in the kitchen.
Right.
So
He's so philanthropic, though. He's a wonderful person. I've known him for a long time.
right to see that tough chef in the kitchen is giving so much to the
Yes.
community and his heart to
Yeah.
give to a child.
It was pretty wonderful to do that.
So
That's
Kristin,
amazing.
I'm going to leave you to finish, but if I can represent all our community of chefs, I think we all want to thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
Thank you,
that's-
Kristin.
Thank you,
Pascal.
Kristin. That
Make me
that's
cry.
amazing.
That was so nice. Thank you. Well,
That's
thank
amazing,
you.
Pascal. Kristin, what you do for the community, like Pascal, and really, Pascal already has a big heart, and for you to
Right.
put him on this on this platform where he can give back to everybody, it kind of trickles down and it goes from there. I mean,
Thank you, Chris.
I have to be at your events because I know somebody.
You're stuck with me now.
Yeah,
I don't know. You can't even
yeah,
hide.
Yeah, and it's almost you're doing a service to giving back, just to see whose life you can change at that moment.
Right. Remember,
So-
I don't feel like I'm working. Like I work, all the time, but I feel like I think that I just love what I'm doing so much that it just doesn't feel like it's work. I just love every moment of it. So
I think when we go back to that quote when we started the segment, it's like you're serving and you're losing yourself.
Completely.
You're not thinking about, oh man,
Completely.
I haven't slept or whatever
Right.
the case may be.
Right.
You're just doing this because there's a bigger cause, and it's clear from the success of your events that you're not putting yourself first.
Thank
Your
you.
community, the chefs, everybody.
it's really important. I mean, you touch on something that's really important to me is that, the event has to be very well done so that the chefs can feel proud to be a part of it. But also, I want the charity to feel really proud that they're there and be so, thankful that it was well run and it looked nice and everything was, just smooth. And so that's my own personal challenge at each event. Everything has got to be flawless, and we work really hard to make sure of that. And that's really important to me. So
Very cool.
Wow.
Can we get, as we kind of start to begin to wrap up our segment, I want to get the information on the where can they find the website
right.
so that they can make sure to be there. they can donate
Yep.
to the charity that is going to be happening at the Festival of Chefs event on July 16th.
Perfect.
Talk
That's
about that.
So that's you
Kids
can
Works.
find information about that event at festivalofchefs.org, but you could also find it on the KidWorks website, which is kidworksoc.org.
Okay.
And the other events are tablefor10.org and chefmasters.org. They're all
Very good.
.org.
I love it.
And then Wine Song, you can find on the Mendocino Coast Healthcare Foundation. It's mchfoundation.org.
And when does that event? I'm just
So
curious.
all the events are kind of spread out.
Got it.
So the first one coming up is Festival,
Yes.
July 16th. The next one is Wine Song, which is September 9th.
Okay.
At the Mendocino Coast Botanical Gardens.
I might have to attend that.
It's going to
Yes.
be amazing.
I'm going up the coast for that.
Over the top.
Wine.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that event.
Yes.
And because we're so close to Napa and Sonoma, we get all the wineries. It's every winery. I
my
mean,
gosh.
it's huge.
We have to be there.
Yeah, you need to be
Everyone-
there.
I might have
Everyone
to
watch
And
it.
just to
incredible chefs from
taste
up
test.
there,
Yeah.
as well as some chefs from down here are coming up. So it's really fun because that event pulls from everywhere. And then Chef Masters, which is Sunday, September 24th. And I love this venue. It's at the Pageant of the Masters Festival of the Arts in Laguna Beach.
That one's amazing.
Over the top venue.
Beautiful.
And
Amazing.
I love working with Festival of Arts. They're just amazing. Currently, they're running Pageant of the Masters. Fabulous. If anybody hasn't gone to see that, it's an experience that everyone needs to go see. And then we move into 2024, where then we kick off Table for 10 on March 3rd at the Renaissance Newport Beach. We're really thrilled about being at that hotel. They just did a huge renovation. And then we have Top Chef April 7th at the Balboa Bay Resort. Beautiful resort on the water.
I can't wait.
And then it just repeats where we still go back around with festival. And so they're just wonderful events. If anybody wants to attend, it'd be wonderful. You can reach out to me directly at my email, which is martin600@cox.net.
Martin600@cox.net. We
Yes.
definitely want to reach out to Kristin Martin for all those events. And that's a full calendar of events. Chef Chris, you talked about getting a food truck event started.
Oh
for
my
gourmet
gosh,
We
food
talked
truck.
about
day.
that.
Chef,
One
We
day.
need
Chef
to
Chris
do
told
it.
it's out.
We need to do
Gourmet
it.
food trucks.
And all our spare time, right?
Right? It's not like
We always have time for more.
We always
we
have
can
time
always
for
keep
more.
going, especially if it benefits a charity. We had talked
charity,
About, that's the
would
thing.
be
That's the thing. We
We
gotta
need
pick
to
a great
find
charity.
the perfect charity that would want something like that they think their guests would want. But we talked about bringing in 30 food trucks and doing
That would
it
be
at the Great Park.
crazy. Let's go.
In Irvine.
okay.
And they have a huge hangar there.
Yes.
And I think it would be awesome for the city to, come on board and wrap their arms around that. So you never know.
This moment's on video. You guys
2025.
got it.
Exactly.
We got 2024.
Exactly. So
Okay, 225.
it'd be great to give a shout out to the food truck chefs
Very
because
good.
they usually have their previous history is from great culinary background, almost every single one of them that I know. And so the food trucks are not to be shorted at all. The food's going to be over the top. I
agree.
Yeah, so I just had an amazing smash burger from a food truck. I'm
Oh,
trying to
wait.
remember the name.
Hamburger,
Anyway,
probably.
I'm just telling you.
Was
of
it
course,
was it Messy Burger?
it might have been Messy
that's his
Burger.
burger.
That's my burger
Hey,
truck.
that was you.
Where was that?
Oh my gosh, it was maybe 8 weeks ago. Where were you?
I don't know. Where were you?
No, I was there. I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Taste
Your truck is
Collective.
everywhere. Yeah.
And the
Taste
Taste
Collective
Food
is
truck.
always-
Oh my gosh, those pulled
Yes.
pork tacos. Oh
my
I'm
gosh.
hungry right now. Is the truck here?
No.
Okay,
Let's go. Yeah, I'm hungry right
You know,
now.
Chris
Chop
is
it up
always
in the
on the
truck.
move.
I'm
Yes,
always
let's
on
go.
I'm always doing something.
He's got a
right?
grill on the truck
I
right
know.
there.
I have a grill always ready to rock and roll.
I've bombed his truck before. I've actually
Remember that?
I saw
Yes.
him. I went pulled over. I knocked on the that door, people were in line looking at me. I'm like, I know the chef. I can get on this. I jumped on. I was like, boom.
You
It
had
was
those.
awesome.
We were doing selfies on the truck. Like,
That
I
was
had a
so
whole
fun.
ticket rail across. It was so busy.
It was so
but we were never too
awesome.
busy to take selfies.
Yeah, it
Right,
was really
Kristin?
fun. Yeah, it was really amazing to watch the food truck chefs in action.
Yes.
That's a reality show in itself, Food
Oh my
Network.
gosh.
Oh.
That is something else.
The
That is
food
something
trucks. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, you hop on and it's like an orchestra. It's like they're conducting. And I mean, there's so many things in such a tight quarter. It's amazing, actually, the food that they
and
kick out
how
of that.
quick we have to pump it
Yes.
out.
That's right.
nuts, yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
that should be a reality show.
That right there is a whole
Let's
different.
go.
Let's go.
We're coming up with all these ideas
Yeah.
just talking. I know.
Next thing you know, with our next segment, we're just going to be doing. He's going to be filming a reality show. Right now. Well, thank you so much, Kristin.
Oh my God,
It was
thanks for
such an
having me,
honor.
you guys.
No,
It was really
I
fun.
just hope when somebody sees this, I want them to see the passion behind it. A lot of people see the charity. Oh, it's another event. No, it's more than just an event. It's an experience. So,
It is.
So
It
thank you
is.
so much
It's
for
a
that,
lot of heart.
Kristin. Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
so thanks for
Kristin.
having me, you guys.
Thank
This
you.
is
And we look
wonderful.
forward to-
I'll see you in we got 6 days countdown.
Let's
6
go.
For the
days.
next one. It's gonna
Let's
be fun.
go.
Go. Alrighty, guys. That concludes Let's Chop It Up episode with Kristin Martin. Anything else?
I think that's it. We're super excited to be at the Festival of Chefs event. We're going to be interviewing a bunch of chefs, and we're going to be featuring a bunch of restaurants. So we're excited to be able to do that. Thank you, Kristen.
Alrighty,
Thank
guys.
you.
Let's chop
Thank
it
you for
up.
having me.
Take care. Bye.